Hello, viewers. Welcome back to Vibing with Mr. Marvelous. Thank you for viewing. Thank you. Today we have Rylie. Rylie, come to the show.
What's up, guys? Rylie.
Welcome. How was your day?
Pretty good. Glad to see you after not seeing you for a while. So
Correct.
Went to the gym, get some punches in.
Yes. So Riley's on the show because Rylie and I go way back. She has a very passionate, inspirational story, which has touched me and touched many people around the world. She's going to share that with us shortly. And before we start, your trivia question of the day. Actually, before we get to the trivia, Ryan, give us your name and where you're from, a little background about yourself.
I'm Rylie. I'm 17. I'm from Illinois. And I'm at Prince because I'm an equestrian. I come down here and compete in the winter season. And try going to 9 round and met Prince and been friends ever since.
I love it. Yes, so you're a equestrian, so you ride horses. Are you a jumper or are you...
Jumper, yeah.
Jumper.
Yeah, like to go fast.
Love it. So your trivia question of the day is, the topic of brain tumor. So how many people are diagnosed with a brain tumor worldwide? That's your trivia question for today. You get about 5 minutes to get that question correct. So how many people, about average, are diagnosed with brain tumor over the world? So Ryan, as you know, I wanted you to share your story about your amazing obstacles and everything. So yeah, tell us exactly how it started, and because you were born normal.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
At what age did you realize that something was wrong?
Yeah, so I was born normal, and then around like 6 years old, I started having these like pains in my arms and just like my migraines, headaches, just like everything that was normal was just off. And so for about like 6 months, we went to every hospital all over around where we lived. Like, oh, she's just sick. Oh, she has a headache. Oh, she just give her this, just some Tylenol, this and that. Nothing helped. And so finally, got to the point where we couldn't take it anymore. And just kept going to hospitals until finally someone gave me a CT scan and found out that I had a brain tumor. And then after that, I was rushed to the hospital and needed surgery.
So you rushed immediately when they found out that it was that severe already?
Yeah.
And was it for many years? They said you just have a little headache, or was it a few months?
It was a 6-month period.
A 6-month period.
When I was 6 years old. So, yeah.
And they had to operate right away. Mm-hmm. And after your surgery, was it a success or?
The surgery was a success, and then the day after surgery, totally fine. I couldn't walk, obviously, but left side totally worked. Face was fine, and then the next day I woke up and everything shut off. So if you cut my body in half, the left side was just gone, and no answer for it. The surgery went great. Everything was perfect. There was no reason why it happened.
So the entire left side of your body was just numb.
Yeah.
From your head to your toe.
Yeah, I could feel it, but there was no function. There was I couldn't. It was gone.
And your right side was okay. You could feel. You could coordinate. You could talk to that body part. But the left, you couldn't really 100%.
Yeah, I felt it there. I wasn't paralyzed, but it wasn't. It was there was no use for it.
Wow. All right, viewers, we'll come back to Rylie. We're gonna take time for drum roll. And the question again was, how many people around the world are diagnosed with brain tumor or something related? It was over 300,000. So roughly over 300,000. So it's a kind of high statistic. And but stay strong and stay healthy, stay positive, keep your faith alive. Back to Rylie. So your left side of your body was not functioning.
Yeah.
What was the process after that? Therapy, or was it, oh my God, what happened? Why me?
I honestly, I can't say that I remembered. Looking back, I just remember that's how it always was. I don't think I really started realizing, like, it was more of like, okay, this happened, like, I'm sick, so
Right.
I'll just make do. Like, it was never physically it was rough, but mentally it was just whatever because nobody really cares at that age.
Correct. When
It
you're young,
was
yeah.
yeah. I was middle school when I started to realize like, wow, like I'm different. This isn't normal. That's like when the bullying started and like the special needs in classes and special like teachers and special this, special that, like accommodations. You can't do this sport. You can't do this. And then like just mostly the bullying. Like that's when like it really started to hit me, and it was like I was more mentally limited at that point than like physically. Like yeah, there's a lot of things I couldn't do, but I still had one side, which to
Right.
me was more than a lot of people have, and I saw it like that. That it was like mentally that was so much harder to like get through.
And did you stay in public school or did yes, you stayed
Yeah, I
throughout
was
till high
in
school? Okay.
I was in public school all throughout middle school, and then high school was when I decided to switch to private.
And how did you come over the bullying and coping with what you have, knowing it's not your fault and kids, why should kids be mean
Yeah,
for something that it's not your fault? Like you
yeah.
woke up and
I mean, I honestly I like looking back. I feel like I've let myself let go a lot of the bad moments and like forget it. When I really like sit down and think about it, like I don't think I got ever really got through it. Like I just like okay, move on to the next day, move on to the next day. Like I never really saw myself getting through it. I just kind of like accepted it for what it was. Um, until like probably the past like two-ish years. Mostly this year, I feel like I've finally like been like glad that it happened. Like now, I feel like I look at it, I'm like I wouldn't. I think if I could go back and have my left hand, like I wouldn't want it because I've learned so much. And like I always remind myself, like what I don't have, like someone else has less, and like someone will always have it worse, and someone will always have it better than you. And like appreciate what you have, and like use it to do amazing things. Like
very
I'm
true.
not given this as
Very
a
true.
disadvantage. I'm given it's something different to do something different in the world with it. So that's why I'm here.
I love it. I love it. Very true. True
Yeah.
story. And when I first met Riley walked in where I worked she came as a client and I never knew what happened. All I knew, she came in, she was determined, she wanted to work out, and I treated her normally, like a normal client. Burpees, push up, whatever it is. I never asked question. I'm like, all right. She punched, she kicked, and everything. And eventually, we got to know each other, and she shared a story, and it touched me because somebody else who was fully functioning wouldn't like do like the power and the courage you had to come in there and just do to be normal. And I loved it. It touched me, inspired me.
Yeah. I feel like finding places like Nine Mountain people like Prince has been the reason I am where I am today. Like realizing like not everywhere you go is gonna be like places like middle school was for me. I think I've like for the longest time I had PTSD of like anywhere I went was gonna be there was gonna be bullying, there was gonna be just everything. And then the more I grew up, the more I realized like it's not like that everywhere. And that what like when even now I tell people like, oh like just so you know, like this is my hand, like I might need help here and there. Like a lot of people say like, really? Like I don't even notice it. Where me, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like a red flag. It's
Right.
just a walking red
Because your
flag.
brain is like,
Yeah.
everybody's watching me, everybody thinks I'm different.
Yeah. Where like everyone's like, I would never have known. I'm like, okay, you're just saying that to be nice, but like it is weird like how it's all mental.
It is.
But
A lot of life is mental.
yeah.
Because and I learned that many years ago where I realized we never know what somebody else is thinking
Mhm.
unless we ask or unless we know the truth in their head.
Yeah.
And that's why I personally stopped assuming things.
Yeah.
So I always take it at it as it is. I ask questions, then I take action.
Yeah.
So I never like, oh my God, I can't do this or whatever.
Yeah.
Or she's probably think I'm not smart or my teacher thinks. So I stop doubting and I stop, what's the truth?
Yeah.
What's the real core? What's the real person thinking?
Yeah. No, whenever I feel like when people look at me, I'm like, okay, they're either one judging me or one they're like, oh my gosh, like it's like they're complimenting me with like they're thinking something good, and you'll never know what it is unless you ask. You just always assume it's good. That's like what I've always kind of done Because I know for me, oftentimes, like even like if I look at someone, I'm not judging them at all. Like I'm like, oh, I love their outfit, but I'm more like this, and then to them, it probably looks like I'm judging them. But like for me, I'm like admiring them. Like you really never know. So just like always tell yourself like
Yep.
it's the good one.
Correct. Yeah.
So
Until you found out the truth, then you take it from there.
yeah.
So you were bullied and mentally PTSD. Today you sound stronger. You sound mentally at peace, better than years ago. And physically, is your movement the left side better than when you're in middle school and high school? Are you
Yeah.
getting stronger? Are you getting back?
I'd say physically for sure. I'm still like have a long way to go, but I've seen like I guess I don't even realize like how far I've come until I really look back at like,
Correct.
old pictures and old memories and stuff. But so a part of the whole like left side thing is that my left hand has a thing called dystonia, which is like a muscle spasm constantly. So like for the longest time, like it's all mental for me. Like whenever like the more anxiety I have, the more like just bad emotions I have, the tighter my arm will get, and I'll just get stuck like that. And so, like when I was at home, like I would never feel it, and then as soon as I went out, I would feel it. And it's like now, like I used to walk through Target like this, and now I'm like,
All
so
right.
it's like even improvements like that. Like even though I still can't do this, I can walk through Target like that now, and that's like my win. So like I don't,
Love it.
I used to wear sweatshirts over my hands all the time, and now I'm like short sleeves. I could never wear short sleeves in the past, and like so like yes, I can't put my hair in a ponytail necessarily, but can I walk around in short sleeves now? Yes, and that's like my win, I guess. So
I love it. I love it. The
every day I'm
small
getting
wins.
stronger. So
Love it. Love it. And you
yeah.
still in therapy? Are you still
I'm with a functional neurologist now, so it's
okay?
more everyone that I've talked to says it's not that my left side doesn't work. It says that it's my brain forgot that it's there. Because clearly I can lift weights, I
Right.
can ride horses, I can drive a car, I can do all these things. My brain just doesn't know it's there. So everyone says once my brain figures it out, that my left side will be boom. So just mostly working on the brain. It's less physical really for me. So
Brilliant. The brain.
because I feel everything, the muscle.
Right.
But there's obviously like muscle tone, like
Correct.
it's all there. So just my brain's slow.
I believe. I believe.
Yeah.
You will.
We'll see.
You will. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, if I called your mom or your dad or your brother or your best friends, give me one word that would describe you. So there's lots of words. One word would be like, not you that you describe yourself, but one word that collectively the closest people in your life would say, Rylie is, how would they describe you in one word?
Resilient.
Resilient. I love it. And I can see that. Because from what you came from, where you are today, if you were not resilient, that word wouldn't matter. So yeah, I would say the same thing.
Yeah.
Definitely, I love it. Resilient. And if you had to change anything in the world when it comes to health or brain tumor and stuff like that, what would you? Because you've experienced, you've been to doctors, you've seen both sides.
Mm-hmm.
What would you change in the world, or what would you do to make it better place for patients with brain tumor, or anything you would?
I don't even know if it's like patients with brain tumors. So I feel like in like the doctor aspect and like the healthcare aspect has been great for me. But I think just like the afterwards, like what do we do to prevent like the bullying? Like honestly,
Right.
like what can we do in schools to like change kids' mindsets to be more like I feel like just like the inclusive and the judging right away. Like just like I don't know how, but like
No, you're on the right track, because I like where
yeah.
you're going with that. How is the aftermath? How do we control to become more of a victim rather than being part of the society?
Yeah.
We've been accepted, and I guess it kind of boils down to all the kids and people are ignorant.
Yeah.
They small-minded, rather learning before they judge.
Mm-hmm.
Rather, hi Rylie, like how are you? Blah blah blah. Like find out someone's story.
Yeah.
So
it's like even though we can't control other kids, like what can we do like for that kid to make sure they go in knowing like this isn't a disability, it's an ability that some people won't see and some people will see and be like, wow, that's amazing. That's like what can we do to the aftermath, I guess
I love it.
I want to change.
Now, was there Like how you know, like some patients who has the same symptoms come together, whether it's brain tumor patients or Parkinson's patients, they come together and share stories. Were you ever part of a group or people that had brain tumor, or do you have friends that had that couldn't walk, they paralyzed, or anything that have you met people in the world that you connected?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like a group or like
Right.
multiple people, but I think one blessing from God for me was in first grade. I remember we were sitting around in a circle of all like the first graders, and I felt out of place because I had my hand brace on, my leg brace on. I look over to my left or my right, and there's another girl with the same leg brace and the same hand brace on her left side, and we were like, "Ew."
You can relate. You can like
Yeah,
yes.
and so from that moment, like we always like we drifted apart. Like we still
Right.
like talk, but so he's not like a best friend or someone I still hang out with, but just like we got each other through that period, and we always said, "I'm your left side, and you're my left side." So although she didn't have a brain tumor, she had a stroke instead. But
Right.
it was the same,
Correct.
the same thing. So we did like therapy in school together. We did all these things together. So although it still wasn't pretty, it was like I'm not always alone. Although middle school, like we got separated, but elementary school was.
I love it. And it comes down to having a support system,
Yeah.
somebody like you relate, you could talk to,
Yeah,
sharing and conversating and knowing what's going on mentally, physically.
yeah,
I love
for
it.
sure.
So what do you do for fun? Apart from I know you ride horses. That's very brave of you. Power to you.
Thank you. Well, riding, working out, like trying to think, hanging out with my friends. That's very generic though. I think one thing I've been doing a lot lately is trying to get like more involved. I feel like with like in high school, like I was very like back row. Like I didn't want
Yes.
to be involved in anything, just like PTSD at that point. And now I do online school, like not because school got better, but I wanted
Right.
to be able to ride and travel and all that. So I feel like I've been trying to get more like involved in like do things all over the world, and like how you have your place in St. Lucia, like that's like a dream of mine, like to do stuff for kids over there.
St.
like
Lucia, Rylie's coming to help probably next year. So I'm manifesting it that Rylie comes next year. I'm putting it out in the universe that she comes to help out next summer camp.
Yeah, now I want to do more stuff in the church and just like not only kids with disabilities, but I think every kid goes through something, and just being the light in whatever way I can is what I want to do.
I love it.
Not just young kids, older kids too.
Me too. I'm an older kid, and you were a light to my eyes. You inspired me. You're like, all right, I'm not that bad. I can learn from Rylie. So
Thank you.
definitely, always be an inspiration.
It's the goal.
And yeah, you do movies. Do you like movies? Do you reading?
I like any kind of movies, honestly, but reading, I feel like school, like once it started to become something we had to do, I didn't want to do it. But recently, I've been trying to get back into it for sure. There's a book by Craig Groeschel from a pastor at our church called The Power to Change. That's on my list right now. I'm like, if I'm gonna start reading again, it's like I'm gonna start with that one. So I highly recommend it. Shout out to him. So yeah, I want to read that book.
Love it.
Yeah.
The Power of Change.
I think it's To Change.
To Change. All right, we'll
But-
write it in the comments
in the
below.
comments.
Yeah. And when traveling, how's traveling? Traveling is easy, or there can be difficulty traveling?
It used to be really hard because I'm not the greatest with change, but now like the more I like we travel and are in different houses, like I feel like now I know exactly what to pack, and I get to a new place and that place becomes home like instantly. Like it's weird how the more I just not force myself, but had to travel for riding, the
Right.
more it was like now it's very easy for me. Like all my friends are like, "Oh, I'm going away to college," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm just going to another house." Like just another place, another opportunity.
Love it.
So it's gotten a lot better. It used to not be so great, but it's gotten better.
And college is coming in the near future. Is that correct? And what major you looking to study, or?
I'm thinking either intercultural studies, which is like the study of like what you do like on mission trips and like what you do learning about like different cultures and how we can impact their communities and that. And then or psychology. I just love the brain, love the body, I know it's a generic like major, but it interests
it's
me.
powerful.
So
It's very interesting.
I'm not the greatest in school, so I'm like I'm gonna go for something I'm interested in so I can get the work done.
Now, psychology is a great field because it's very diverse, and
You can use it anywhere.
yes, you could better relate and understand people in the
Yeah.
world. Love it.
Thank you.
Any big plans in the next 5 years? Like you like, I wanna, boom, or 10 years? Like, what's the dream of yours?
Definitely to be doing more stuff like this.
Okay.
Mission trips, just motivational speaking, just being like I think like any like just even if I only change one life in the next 5 years, like that's like I just helping someone. Like when I look at people and I can see like I see my middle school, high school self in other people, and it's like I want to be that person to them that I wish I had back then to like get them out so they don't have to realize it all the way at the end of high school years later like me they can realize it then. And so I want to be a light to I want to be the person I wish I had to other people.
I love it.
Yeah.
Be the light that you wish you had.
Yeah.
It's powerful. Powerful.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, we're about to wrap up. Ra, you want to share any final words for any kid or somebody brain tumor or anybody, any words of inspiration you want to share?
I think no matter what you're going through, physically, mentally, family, anything, like it's view it as there's a positive in everything, no matter what. Like I like appreciate the little things, appreciate the grass outside, appreciate the sky is blue, appreciate you have water and food and shelter, whatever you have, like appreciate the little things and don't see your disabilities or what you're struggling with. See it as like once I get through this, I'm gonna be so much stronger. And because of this, I'm gonna get here and like you can't have good without bad. So appreciate the bad and just yeah, and don't live your life for others. Don't compare yourself to others. Live your life and make it the life that you want it to be. Don't do it for someone else. Do it for you.
There you have it. Words of wisdom, words of inspiration from a brain tumor survivor, from very resilient. That's her word that they describe her. Resilient, young, powerful Rylie. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having
Appreciate you. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, thank Rylie for being brave and resilient. And thank you for vibing with Mr. Marvelous and Rylie. And remember, be marvelous. Bye.
Bye.